It's the e-commerce minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts Bart Mraz and John Suter. The e-commerce minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's e-commerce minute episode 245.
In today's episode, Heineken gets into US e-commerce.
Everybody likes a cold beer once in a while, but nothing beats a beer right from the tap. However, home keg systems are expensive and require maintenance. Heineken aims to fix that problem with their new direct-to-consumer e-commerce sites, Draft for Home and Now Heineken. Draft for Home will sell a line of home tap machines along with the special 2-liter kegs that dispense your favorite brewskis. The special kegs dispense not only beer, but also cold coffee and kombucha. Dispensing beverages besides beer keeps the tap machine in use all day and not stashed away in the man cave or the garage or wherever your wife makes you keep it. The site will begin testing in New York, and Heineken plans on eventually making the site available throughout the U.S. The sites not only allow Heineken to give people more convenience, but more variety. For draftforhome.com, Heineken will eventually partner with 250 local and international brewers to sell their own mini kegs that work with the home tap system. The concept will allow for a rotating assortment of kegs that consumers can buy, which help the company adapt quickly to changing consumer preferences, something it cannot do with traditional retail. Santiago Murphy, Director of Innovation at Heineken USA, told Digiday, "People are shifting a big part of their purchases to e-commerce because it delivers a convenient and immediate solution against going to a store. We are partnering with all tiers in the beer industry to make sure we all catch up to people's expectations to get access to our products online for any occasion. E-commerce allows Heineken to get to market faster without the lag of getting products to the stores and bars or dealing with shelf placement issues. The site will make deliveries in an hour or for a specific day to a person at the delivery site that is 21 years of age or older." Heineken is also in beginning talks with other e-commerce sites like Amazon to see what other options might look like in the future so the company can scale its offerings. Because of strict regulations, beer cannot be sold direct to consumers, but instead sold to distributors. When placing an order online, the participating distributor near the customer processes the request. The decision to focus on draft beer for the new draftforhomesite.com comes from Heineken's findings that 70% of consumers prefer draft beer, but that people don't have as much of an opportunity to enjoy it. Each home tap machine, which holds 2 liters of beer, is $179.99, and mini kegs retail for around $19.99 each.
Best line on their site. We're partnering with over 250 national breweries, local craft makers, coffee roasters, and crunchy kombucha people.
Crunchy kombucha.
I'll take coffee anytime.
Yeah, so that I like that angle, and that it doesn't become this like novelty machine. It becomes something that you would keep around.
Yeah, I would say that. I think the cold brew is going to be big. It depends where, right? The problem here is like in New York, you got a bar every 2 steps, right? So if you have a cold brew, nobody drinks at home.
Well, not in New York, but not everybody lives in New York.
No, I know that. I understand that. I mean, they're starting in New York, obviously. And I'm just saying, like, I would totally do the cold brew stuff. I'll put that in my fridge and have one. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's interesting that something like this hasn't come along earlier, but alcohol regulations state by state are so incredibly bonkers that it's just, I don't think they've even tried. Like, if this has been in Europe for years. I mean, this is just,
well, we have the wonderful 3-tier system, my friend, and that is what has to happen. It's
tell me what the 3-tier system is.
After the prohibition, there's a 3-tier system that it's the brewer, then the distributor, and the local store, and everybody takes it. It has to pay the tax, and they all make their money. It is by law. That's everywhere. It is what it is,
and that's strictly for tax purposes.
For the most part, yeah. Because then you have, obviously, every state is a little different, but they all have to go through the 3-tier system. Now, every state has relaxed some things. Shipping wine everywhere in the country has become easier. Beer is starting to do that too, because there's a lot of craft breweries, and the craft brew market in the U.S. is ginormous all of a sudden. Not all of a sudden, it's been, it's been brewing for a while. Get it?
Yeah. I see what you did there.
But it has been. So, but regulations of how you deliver stuff and how can you do those kind of things is tough. It depends on the state. Like in PA, liquor stores are state.
Don't
They're
get me
state based.
started with Pennsylvania.
Well, they have relaxed a little bit more than they used to.
Yeah, but they're still light years behind.
Right. It just depends, obviously, on state by state. Everybody needs to make their tax money from it, and that's where all that really comes in from.
So everybody likes a good stat. In 2017, they're saying that the U.S. tastes are gravitating more, as you had said, toward craft and imported beer. In 2017, dollar sales of imported beer increased 8.4% to more than $6.5 billion, as domestic premium brands like Budweiser and Bud Light dipped 2.9% to $13 billion. So people are kind of moving away from the Bud and the Bud Light, and they're going after. See, it's funny because they give up the Bud and the Bud Light and they drink Blue Moon, but they're all. I mean, I think Coors owns Blue Moon, and everybody thinks that that's like a craft beer.
Well, Miller Coors owns, 40%. InBev owns the other 40%.
Right,
and then there's the rest of it is all small.
So it's
batch.
InBev, and then Heineken. So Heineken they own a ton of brands too.
Yeah, so they're all split up between like the big three. But I think what's happening with breweries, like small breweries, is that they're going towards the wine side, right? Where they're kind of following the wine market, where they're starting to ship beer places, and it's starting to be the craft brewing is kind of like wine.
Yes, I'll totally agree with that. And what you'll see now is, I look at it also from a design perspective because I just love. I mean, I could just go into a craft beer store and just look at labels. I mean, the packaging is just like. You can be experimental, you can be wild because some of this stuff is limited edition or limited run or small run or appealing to a certain demographic. So it's really neat to see what's out there. And also what the craft brewers do is they'll just say, hey, we're going to brew this special coffee beer infused with hibiscus and, fairy unicorn dust. And we can only put out a limited edition, and they can make a crap ton of money in a very short amount of time.
Fairy unicorn dust.
Fairy unicorn dust. And so I think you're exactly right. It's turning into like more of a boutique thing. The problem is now that everyone, every home brewer thinks that he can start a brewery. So now you've got all these little craft breweries everywhere. And it kind of blows my mind because 10 years ago, you didn't have any of this. No. Now I think I've got 5 within 5 miles of my house, and I don't exactly live in a dense urban area. So it's
I mean, our favorite, obviously, when you come to a design point of view and look at how fast Neshaminy Creek has grew, and that's like 5 minutes away from our parents' house. That's just down the street from you. I mean, it's probably one of our favorite breweries right now.
Yeah, and what they've done is they've got kind of the secret sauce in that the owner, he's like really into he's really into cool music, and he found a great designer. The guy's name is JP Flexner. I'll give a shout out to him. He's been doing all their packaging and illustration and marketing materials for the last 6-7 years, and they've got this cool cachet. And that's, I mean, besides the fact that their beer is great, they just make it they've made like a cool brand out of it.
Mm-hmm. They made a cult following. I mean, it's good. Plus, it's good beer.
Good. So, all right. So Heineken getting into US e-commerce. Bart, you going to buy one of these little mini taps?
Yeah.
Get one for the office. Yeah.
Well, at least my house.
At least your house. And put some crunchy kombucha in there.
That's for the office.
All right. Got anything else?
Mm-mm.
All right. That's your e-commerce minute for today. Crack a cold one and have a great day. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. Crack a crispy boy.
Crispy boy?
The crispy boy. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion or just want to say hi, find us on social media @SumoHeavy.